So over the years I have tried out a huge number of different backpacks, which you will undoubtedly know if you know me or this channel at all. And I've been on a bit of a journey to find the perfect everyday do-it-all kind of backpack, and so far without any luck. However, even though I don't throw around the word perfect lightly, I genuinely think that I might have accidentally found the perfect everything backpack for me. Now, up until very recently, my favorite go-to everyday carry backpack has been the Gorak GR1 21 liters, the heritage version in olive green to be more precise, and I've carried that backpack for the better part of the past 3 years. But there were always a few things that I thought of as shortcomings with the GR1 heritage, even though I loved it to bits, and you can check me on that because I talked about those shortcomings in the various videos that I made about the Gorak over the past few years since I got it. And those shortcomings were primarily that it lacked organizational features, there was no way to extend the capacity, and also that there were no pockets or other attachment points on the outsides, meaning that I've always had to carry water bottles, tripods and so on the inside of the backpack. Those were pretty much the main negatives. However, with that being said, I very much like the materials, I like the carrying comfort, I like the overall build quality and aesthetic. And so I'm still a huge fan of the GR1 Heritage Edition, but I think I found a backpack that has all of the benefits of that backpack without any of the drawbacks. And that backpack is called the Arthur by the company Drakensberg. Just in case you were wondering, I am in no way affiliated with Drakensberg whatsoever. I've never been in touch with them, and I've bought this backpack with my own money, and I've paid full price for it, and I bought it through their website. Now, I will say that even though I'm calling it the perfect backpack right now, I've only really owned it for a couple of weeks now, so I cannot really make any definitive statements in regards to the overall build quality and especially the longevity, but I will report back on those things probably every now and again going forward. However, with that said, this is actually not the first Drakensberg bag that I own, because about 10 years or so ago, my lovely wife actually bought me a Drakensberg Weekender bag as a gift. And I have used the absolute bejesus out of this bag, and even though I'm not using it anymore nowadays, because for the most part, if I need a weekender, I'm just using my Nelson Weekender by Oberwert. It is still in use, and it is currently used as the main bag for us to pack all of the things that we might need for our baby boy. And so with that, this Weekender bag is actually still in use, usually anywhere from 2 to 4 times every month. And I mean, look at it, it still pretty much looks brand new. Now granted, even though the overall design language and aesthetics and the colors are very similar to those of the Arthur backpack, the materials are different. And so I don't think that I can really draw any conclusions in regards to the longevity, but overall, my impressions from Drakensberg bags so far, yeah, it's been great, and it's really the one that I've owned for about a decade now has held up insanely well over time. Anyway, for now, let me quickly talk you through what makes this backpack so great, what I carry in it, and some final thoughts at the end. So, the Arthur backpack. It's a 25-liter traditional-ish looking backpack with a roll top design. It cost me about 210 euros to buy, which is not cheap, but also not super expensive. The materials used to make this backpack are for the most part a water-repellent canvas, vegetable tanned buffalo leather, which makes up the entire bottom section of the backpack as well as the front pouch, and there are also just leather accents everywhere all over this backpack, especially in places that need some reinforcement like the straps and the strap attachment points, and to round it all off, they used brass hardwire, which in my opinion works really well on a backpack of this sort. The overall construction feels very solid. There are nice little details everywhere, like for example the stitching on the backside of the backpack. The straps are comfortable but rather thin, and there's not a whole lot of padding in them, and you can adjust them via this old school buckle system, which is a bit slow, but I love it because I often run into the issue of having to retighten backpack straps because they loosen up over time. As I said earlier, they are reinforced with leather, as are the attachment points, and you even get small brass D-rings on either side. The overall layout of this backpack is a roll-top design. The top access is closed with a brass zipper and held in place with this leather strap and brass hook. All fairly simple and robust and very likely not to break even after years of use. However, it's not just the top loader, because the party trick here is that you can also access the main compartment via the clamshell style opening of the back panel. It's not a full clamshell, but it's certainly good enough to get to everything important quickly. You can open the back panel via the brass zippers, and the back panel itself is also where you can store a laptop, and it will fit up to a 16-inch MacBook Pro, which would be held in place securely with this leather strap and brass button. The inside of the panel also again features some very nice details and texturing. Speaking about the inside of the backpack, it's basically one big main compartment, but there are two open pockets that would easily fit an iPhone, as well as a medium-sized zippered pocket, again with leather reinforcements and brass zipper hardware. To round it off, on the outside there are open external pockets on either side with leather reinforcements, and on one side you get this leather attachment point, which I simply feed a thin strip of leather through so it can hold my water bottle in place, and on the other side you get two leather loops, which can also be used to hold stuff in place, like a tripod leg or something, but you could even use them to secure a small hatchet to your backpack if you were to bring it on a camping or bushcrafting adventure, making the whole backpack very versatile overall. Lastly, there is the front admin pouch, which is made entirely of leather with a brass plate on the front for a bit of branding. It looks great, feels beautiful, and you can open it fully via this brass zipper to get to everything. Just be advised that it opens flat, so things might fall out if you have the backpack standing upright. On one side of the panel you will find a few more notebook-sized pockets, as well as a bunch of pen loops and other elastic loops for your AirPods and whatever stuff you want to carry, as well as a leather card holder for your various cards like credit cards, ID, gym membership, or in my case, card-sized tools. And that is the backpack. In my opinion, the design, choice of materials and build quality are just plain beautiful. There's really nothing here for me to complain about. Again, I've only had this backpack for a few weeks, but I've already used it a ton and also laid it down on rough and wet surfaces many a times, and even the big leather front pouch is holding up great so far. So with all of that out of the way, let's quickly talk about what I carry in this backpack on a regular basis. I will make it quick because most of this stuff will be very familiar if you've seen any of my EDC backpack loadouts before, and my regular viewers are probably sick to death of seeing this stuff. Be that as it may, let's get into it. I keep a Fjällräven poncho on the very bottom of the backpack for longer hikes and in case of heavy downpours, and right next to it I keep my small alpaca EDC pouch. This little guy features all kinds of helpful things to get me through the day. From a selection of tools like these 10-inch Knipex Cobra pliers and pliers wrench, over a toe peak ratchet with a small selection of bits, a small USB-C cable with integrated adapters, some small band-aids, and a pill container with painkillers, allergy pills, antibacterial, wound cream, and so on. I won't go through all of it in this video, but I might make an update video on this pouch at some point, so let me know if you're interested in seeing that. Either way, it's a lot of functionality for its size and weight, and this stuff gets used all the time. On top of the poncho and the EDC pouch sits a Fjällräven camera insert, and it houses my Sony ZV-E1 with the Sigma 20-200mm lens for all of my on-the-go video needs, as well as my Leica M11P on my well-used Bosse & Richter leather strap, and usually I will have my Voigtlander 28mm f1.5 lens and the 50mm Sumilox in here as well. I also keep the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 in here with the Explorer grip kit for all of my action cam related needs. With those cameras, I obviously also want to bring some accessories, and I keep those in this PGY Tech pouch, which lives on top of the Fjällräven camera insert. There's a camera clip in here for the shoulder straps for those times when I need to use my ZV-E1 a lot, but I don't want to hold it in my hands all the time. Also an adapter that I can use to mount my M-mount lenses on my Sony ZV-E1, mind you, with autofocus. And I also obviously have a number of spare batteries for all of my cameras in here, a USB-C hub for my MacBook Air, and some other bits and bobs like a lavalier microphone and so on. I usually also bring this little metal container for some on-the-go snacks, as well as my PGY Tech Mantis Pod Pro, and that's it for the most part. In the 2 pockets of the main compartment I keep a small wooden cutting board in case I want to slice up some fruits or veggies on the go, as well as a titanium spoon and spork because I hate disposable cutlery. In the other pocket I keep this cotton tote bag for spontaneous grocery shopping trips after work or the occasional visit at the local farmer's market. The zippered pocket on the inside is where I currently keep a small bottle of soap that is biodegradable and also works as a laundry detergent and shampoo. Great when you find yourself at a hotel and you don't want to use the stuff that they provide but forgot to bring your own shampoo or soap. Usually happens to me multiple times a month. And I also have some lip balm in here. In the front pocket I have my passport, sunglasses, a cotton handkerchief, my aluminium Lumentop FW3A flashlight, my AirPod Pros, a magnetic 5000 mAh power bank, a moleskin notebook, some paper tissues, a cheap harmonic that I recently bought in Zurich, and a Kaweco brass pen as well as a Sharpie. On the outside I currently have a small metal cup with foldable grab handles nested at the bottom of one of the side pockets, and inside of it I keep my 500ml insulated clean canteen bottle. Great option to bring some hot green tea during the colder month of the year. And yeah, that's about it I guess. Now since this is a roll top bag, I can always opt to bring extra layers like a down jacket or a vest or a pair of gloves, and the backpack expands and compresses as I need it to. Overall then, as I said in the beginning, I think that this backpack has all of the benefits that the Gorak GR1 Heritage had, but with none of the drawbacks. Now granted, the Gorak is still slightly more comfortable over longer periods of times, especially with a lot of gear in the backpack, but the Arthur is still absolutely comfortable enough for my use cases. And so to finish this video up, I think that I can finally, for the first time on this extremely long and wasteful journey, say that I think that I found the perfect backpack, and this might actually be my exit backpack, so meaning the last backpack that I actually need to buy and that really does it all. Now I obviously still have and use my more specialized backpacks like my companion camera backpack for when I want to bring a lot of camera gear, or my bigger hiking backpacks, and obviously I also have lighter alternatives like the Oberwert Freiburg Sling bag, which I still use a bunch, but for everything else and everything in between, this is now my go-to everything most day carry backpack. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. I hope this was interesting to you. If it was, let me know by giving this video a like, and if you enjoy videos about EDC gear, photography, camera gear and so on, consider subscribing to this channel. And yeah, I hope to see you in another video. Until then, take care. Bye.